Commander Wei of the Galactic fleet stared at the blue-green planet through the observation deck. His antennae twitched with anticipation as his four eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of deep contemplation among the Vraxian species. "Remind me again why we chose this backwater planet," he asked, turning to Science Officer Kula, whose purple skin glistened under the ship's ambient lighting. Kula pulled up a holographic display. "According to our research, Earth children possess the highest neuroplasticity in this sector of the galaxy. Their brains are like sponges, perfect for our education program." Education program. Wei made air quotes with his upper appendages. "Let's be honest with ourselves. We are kidnapping them." "Commander, I'm shocked." Kula's skin turned a deeper shade of purple, the Vraxian equivalent of blushing. "We are offering them advanced knowledge and the opportunity to become productive members of the Galactic Federation without asking their parents. That's kidnapping where I come from." "Where you come from? You also eat rocks for dessert," Kula replied dryly. "Hardly the benchmark for moral standards." Wei sighed, a hissing sound that made junior officers scurry away. "Fine, send in the extraction teams. But I want this done cleanly. No mess, no fuss. Just grab the specimens and return to the ship." "They are not specimens, Commander. They are future students. Whatever helps you sleep during your hibernation cycle, Kula." Extraction team leader Kraz adjusted his cloaking device as he and his 3 team members descended toward a suburban neighborhood in what the humans called Ohio. "Remember the parameters," he whispered into his communication device. "Children between ages 5 and 10. No adults. No pets. And for the love of the great nebula, no witnesses." "What if there are witnesses?" asked Dorn, the newest member of the extraction team. "We have memory erasers for a reason," Kraz replied, patting the small device on his belt. "Though I hear they cause terrible headaches and sometimes make humans believe they have been probed. Creates all sorts of ridiculous rumors." Their ship, disguised as an unusually large delivery truck, landed silently in a cul-de-sac. The suburban houses stood quiet in the night, their occupants asleep and unaware of the interstellar visitors. "First target," Kraz announced, pointing to a 2-story house with blue shutters. "According to our scans, there's a 7-year-old inside. Perfect age for our program." The team moved silently across the lawn, their advanced technology rendering them nearly invisible to Earth surveillance. Kraz approached a ground-floor window and used a molecular destabilizer to create an opening in the glass. "I will never understand why humans build such fragile dwellings," he muttered. "On Vraxia, our homes are made from compressed neutronium." "That's because your planet has 16 times Earth's gravity," Dorn replied. "These humans would be pancakes on our world." Fascinating biology lesson. "Now shut up and follow me." The team slipped into what appeared to be a living room, navigating around furniture that seemed designed specifically to stub alien toes. Kraz consulted his bio-tracker, which pointed them toward the stairs. "Second floor, first door on the right," he whispered. As they crept up the stairs, a floorboard creaked loudly. "What was that?" hissed Dorn, freezing in place. "Primitive wood construction," Kraz explained. "It contracts and expands with temperature changes." Just as they reached the top of the stairs, a small light flicked on, and a human male in a bathrobe appeared in the hallway. "Who's there?" the man called out, squinting into the darkness. Kraz quickly activated his memory eraser, aiming it at the human. "You see nothing. You're very sleepy. You need to use the bathroom, then return to bed." The man stared blankly for a moment, then muttered, "Gotta pee," and shuffled toward another door. "That was close," Dorn whispered. They continued to the child's room and eased the door open. Inside, a small human lay sleeping, clutching what appeared to be a stuffed representation of an Earth predator. "Commence extraction," Kraz ordered. Dorn approached the bed with a transport bubble, a gel-like orb that would safely encase the child for transportation. Just as he was about to deploy it, the child's eyes snapped open. For a moment, alien and human stared at each other in mutual shock. Then the child did something unexpected. She smiled. "Are you the Tooth Fairy?" she asked, sitting up excitedly. Kraz and Dorn exchanged confused glances. "Tooth Fairy," Kraz repeated, frantically searching his Earth database implant. "Yes." The child nodded vigorously. "I lost my tooth yesterday." She pointed to a small gap in her front teeth. "Mommy said the Tooth Fairy would come and leave money under my pillow. Kraz's database finally provided an answer. Ah, yes. We are the Tooth Fairy Collective, he improvised. We have come for your dental specimen. The girl frowned. But you were supposed to leave money. Of course, Kraz said, fumbling with his equipment pouch. He produced a small metal disc, Vraxian currency worth about 3 months' salary on their world. The girl took it, looking disappointed. This isn't money. It's a weird coin. It's special fairy money, Dorn interjected. Very valuable. Now, if you will just come with us, come with you, the girl suddenly shouted, backing against her headboard. Mommy says I'm not supposed to go anywhere with strangers. Kraz quickly raised his memory eraser, but before he could activate it, the girl let out an ear-piercing scream. Mommy aye, Daddy, the Tooth Fairy is trying to kidnap me. Lights flicked on throughout the house. Heavy footsteps thundered toward the room. Abort, Kraz commanded. Abort extraction. The team scrambled for the window as the door burst open, revealing the same human male, now wielding what their database identified as a baseball bat, apparently some kind of primitive bludgeoning weapon. What the hell? The man roared, charging forward. Kraz activated his jetpack, crashing through the window in a shower of glass while Dorn and the others followed. They shot across the lawn toward their disguised ship as lights began coming on in neighboring houses. Command Center. Kraz shouted into his communicator. Extraction failed. Human child raised alarm. Request immediate extraction. What do you mean raised alarm? Came Commander Wei's irritated voice. These are children. How hard can it be? As if in answer, a loud bang rang out, and something whizzed past Kraz's head. They are shooting at us. Dorn screamed. The humans have projectile weapons. More bangs followed as they scrambled into their ship. Through the viewport, Kraz could see several humans emerging from their homes, some carrying similar weapons. Taking off, yelled the pilot, engaging the engines. As they rose into the air, Kraz looked down at the gathering crowd of humans. One of them, a female in sleeping attire, was pointing a phone at them. They are recording us, he realized with horror. Command Center, we have a serious problem. The humans are documenting our presence. Back on the mothership, Commander Wei was having the worst day of his 237-year career. Let me get this straight, he said, pacing before the extraction team. Not only did you fail to acquire a single child, but you were seen, recorded, and shot at. In our defense, Kraz began. Human children are surprisingly vigilant. And loud. Very, very loud. Wei turned to Science Officer Kulla. I thought you said this would be easy. I said their brains are malleable, Kulla corrected. I never said anything about the extraction process being simple. Well, it's too late now. The footage is all over their primitive information network. Wei gestured to a screen showing various human news channels, all featuring blurry images of their disguised ship. The headlines range from Alien Abduction Attempt Foiled by 7-Year-Old to Tooth Fairy Conspiracy. What the government doesn't want you to know. Perhaps we could try a different approach, suggested Kulla. A more diplomatic one. Diplomatic? Wei laughed bitterly. We are past diplomacy. Did you see the comments on their social media platforms? They are organizing neighborhood watch groups, setting up anti-alien defense systems, which, by the way, mostly seem to involve aluminum headwear and garden sprinklers. If I may, Commander, interjected Communications Officer Telks, we are receiving a transmission from Earth. It's being broadcast on all frequencies. Put it through, Wei ordered, straightening his uniform. The main screen flickered to life, showing a human female in a suit, standing behind a podium adorned with an FBI logo. Attention, extraterrestrial visitors, she announced, her voice steady. This is Special Agent Samantha Taylor of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We are aware of your presence and your apparent interest in our children. Let me make something absolutely clear. This will not be tolerated. Wei gulped audibly. Earth is now on high alert, Agent Taylor continued. Every parent, teacher, and child has been notified. We have implemented the EP, Extraterrestrial Threat Protocol, which includes, but is not limited to, arming every household with anti-abduction devices, training our children in alien recognition and evasion techniques, and establishing a planetary defense network. Anti-abduction devices. Kulla whispered. They don't have that technology. Furthermore, Agent Taylor added, we have reason to believe that common household items, such as water pistols filled with pickle juice, bicycle horns, and whoopee cushions are particularly effective against your kind. Wei turned to Kula with a puzzled expression. Is that true? Of course not. Kula huffed. Though I admit I have never been exposed to pickle juice. Agent Taylor leaned closer to the camera, her expression intensifying. And let me share one more vital piece of information. Earth parents are a force beyond your comprehension. You think you have seen determination? Try getting between a mother and her child. You think you understand protection? You haven't met a father with a shotgun and a daughter in danger. She smiled, a predatory baring of teeth that made several bridge officers flinch. So here's our proposal. Leave. Now. Or discover firsthand why no species in the galaxy messes with Earth's children. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Well, Wei finally said, that was informative. They are bluffing, Kula insisted. They can't possibly have organized a planetary defense this quickly. Wei rubbed his face tentacles thoughtfully. Maybe, but something about that human's tone makes me think twice. Telx, what do we know about Earth parents? Telx consulted his database. Earth parents exhibit extreme protective behaviors toward their offspring. Historical records show them lifting vehicles to rescue trapped children, fighting predators barehanded, and in modern times, becoming what's known as viral sensations when defending their young. Viral sensations, it's when humans share recordings of events across their information network, causing widespread emotional responses and often leading to collective action. Wei contemplated this information. So you are telling me that we have potentially united all of Earth's parents against us? That seems to be an accurate assessment, Commander. Wei slumped into his command chair. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Despite Agent Taylor's warning, Commander Wei was not ready to admit defeat. The Vraxian High Council had been clear. Return with Earth children for the education program, or don't return at all. We need a new strategy, he announced to his senior staff. Something that won't alert their primitive detection systems. What about using our dream infiltration technology, suggested Kula. We could enter their subconscious while they sleep and convince them to come willingly. Excellent idea. Wei brightened. Prepare the dream teams immediately. That night, as Earth rotated into darkness, 12 specialized Vraxian dream infiltrators synchronized their consciousness with sleeping human children across the planet. Dream Infiltrator Vex found himself in the mindscape of a 9-year-old boy named Tommy. The dreamscape appeared as a colorful playground with impossibly tall slides and swings that reached the clouds. Hello, Tommy, Vex said, assuming the form of a friendly blue creature with big eyes, something his research suggested human children found appealing. Tommy, who was sliding down a spiral slide that seemed to go on forever, looked up with mild interest. Are you a Pokemon? Hey, what? No, I'm your friend from the stars, Vex explained. I have come to invite you to a special school in space, where you can learn amazing things and have wonderful adventures. Tommy's eyes narrowed suspiciously. Are you one of those aliens that try to kidnap Jessica in Ohio? Vex froze. What? No, that was a completely different species. Very rude aliens. We are the good ones. My mom says all aliens trying to take kids are bad aliens. Tommy replied matter-of-factly. She gave me this. He reached into his pocket and pulled out what looked like a whistle. What's that? Vex asked, suddenly nervous. An alien dream alarm. If I blow it, it wakes me up and alerts the Alien Defense Network. Tommy grinned mischievously. Want to see if it works? Before Vex could respond, Tommy blew the whistle. The sound that followed wasn't just loud. It felt like it was tearing the dreamscape apart. Vex felt his consciousness being violently ejected from the boy's mind. Back on a mothership, Vex's physical body convulsed as he was forcibly disconnected from the dream link. Similar scenes played out across the dream lab as one by one, infiltrators were expelled from children's minds. What happened? Demanded Wei, who had been observing the operation. Vex groaned, his head pounding. They were prepared, Commander. Somehow, they have developed dream defense technology. The children had alarm systems in their minds. That's impossible. Kula protested. Earth doesn't have that capability. Tell that to my splitting headache. Vex muttered that Wei's communication device buzzed. Commander, came Telx's urgent voice. You need to see this. On the main screen appeared footage from Earth news channels. Headlines declared, Alien dream invasion thwarted, and government's emergency dream defense program proved successful. A human scientist was being interviewed. The subconscious alarm system is quite simple, really. We have conditioned children to recognize potential alien thought patterns and to trigger lucid dreaming protocols that eject foreign consciousness. Plus, the alarm connects to our global monitoring system. So we now have approximate locations of 12 alien infiltration attempts. Wei stared in disbelief. They tracked our dream infiltrators? It appears so, Commander, Teltz confirmed. And there's more. They are now distributing what they call anti-alien sleep masks to children worldwide. Wei slumped in his chair. This is getting out of hand. These humans are more resourceful than we anticipated. Perhaps, ventured Kulla, we should consider a direct approach. Actual diplomacy. Wei considered this. You mean, formally introduce ourselves and request permission to include their children in our education program? Exactly. No subterfuge, no kidnapping. Just honest communication. After much deliberation, Wei agreed. They would send a proper diplomatic transmission to Earth's leaders, explaining the benefits of the Galactic Federation's education program and requesting volunteers. The response came faster than expected. A video conference was arranged with representatives from Earth's major nations, led again by Agent Taylor. Commander Wei, she began, her expression stern but not hostile. Let me be clear. We appreciate your interest in sharing knowledge with Earth, but your methods have been deeply concerning. Yes, well, Wei shifted uncomfortably. There may have been some cultural misunderstandings. You tried to abduct children from their beds, a representative from Russia stated flatly, and invade their dreams, added an official from India. When you put it that way, it does sound bad, Wei admitted, but our intentions were pure. The Galactic Federation's education program offers knowledge centuries beyond Earth's current level. Your children would return as the most advanced humans on your planet. Return. Agent Taylor raised an eyebrow. When exactly? Kulla stepped forward. After completing the full curriculum, of course. Approximately 15 of your Earth years. The human representatives exchanged glances. Let me get this straight, said Agent Taylor. You want to take our children to another planet for 15 years, with no contact with their families, to educate them in alien knowledge? Yes. Wei smiled, relieved they understood. Precisely. Commander, Agent Taylor said slowly, as if explaining to a child, humans have a strong attachment to their offspring. We don't send our children away for 15 years, even for the best education. But, furthermore, she continued, we have been monitoring your ship. Your so-called education program appears to involve neural restructuring and something your own documents refer to as loyalty conditioning. Wei shot an accusatory glance at Kulla, who suddenly found the ceiling fascinating. That's an outdated translation, Wei stammered. We merely meant, we know exactly what you meant, interrupted a representative from Brazil. And the answer is no. Earth does not consent to any program involving our children. However, Agent Taylor added, we are open to educational exchange for adults. Volunteer scientists and educators who can learn from your civilization and return to share that knowledge. Wei hesitated. Adult humans? Their brains were far less adaptable. The neural restructuring would be minimal at best. Still, it was better than returning empty-handed to the High Council. Very well, he conceded. We accept your counterproposal. 6 months later, Commander Wei watched as the first group of adult human volunteers boarded the Vraxian ship. They were a mix of scientists, teachers, and specialists, all eager to learn about alien technology and culture. This isn't what the High Council wanted, Kulla remarked, standing beside him at the airlock. No, Wei agreed, but it may be what they needed. These humans are unexpectedly resilient and terrifying, added Kulla. Did you see what they did to Extraction Team 6 when they tried one last abduction attempt in that place called Texas? Wei shuddered. Don't remind me. I have never seen so many projectile weapons in one location, or so many humans wearing identical hats. As the human volunteers settled into their quarters, Wei received a private transmission from the High Council. He braced himself for a reprimand, but instead found Counselor Wex looking almost impressed. Commander, your reports on Earth have been most illuminating, the elderly Vraxian began. particularly the humans' response to perceived threats against their young. Thank you, Counselor. Though I must apologize for failing the original mission parameters. Counselor Wex waved a dismissive tentacle. Parameters change, Commander. Information evolves. The defensive capabilities these humans developed in mere days are unprecedented. Their collective action when threatened is, well, it's exactly what we have been searching for. Wei blinked in confusion. Searching for? The Galactic Federation has been monitoring several aggressive species at the edge of our territory. Species that don't respond to diplomacy. We have been seeking allies with a particular kind of determination. Understanding dawned on Wei. The education program was never the primary objective. Let's call it a secondary benefit. Wex smiled, his facial tentacles curling. The primary mission was to evaluate Earth's potential as an ally. And based on their response to a threat against their children, I'd say they passed with flying colors. So all of this, the failed extractions, the dream infiltrations, it was a test. Not originally, no, but your failures proved most informative. Counselor Wex leaned closer to the screen. Your new mission, Commander, forge a genuine alliance with Earth. Learn from these humans. They may lack our technology, but their protective instinct is a resource we need. After the transmission ended, Wei stood in silent contemplation. He'd spent months trying to acquire human children for education, only to discover that the humans themselves were the lesson that a small commotion drew his attention to the ship's recreation area, where a group of human volunteers had gathered. They were showing Vraxian crew members something called baby pictures on their communication devices. That's my daughter on her first day of school, one human was saying proudly. And here she is winning her science fair. The Vraxians cooed and chirped in appreciation, a response Wei had never expected from his typically stoic crew. Science Officer Kula approached, looking bemused. These humans carry images of their offspring everywhere, and they can't stop talking about them. Is that normal behavior for Earth parents? Apparently so. Wei watched as the humans and Vraxians continued bonding over pictures of small humans doing unremarkable things that somehow elicited tremendous pride. You know, Wei mused, perhaps we should reconsider our own approach to offspring education. What do you mean, Commander? On Vraxia, we send our hatchlings to education pods immediately after birth. They don't see their biological parents until basic training is complete at age 20. Kula nodded. It's efficient. Yes, but is it optimal? These humans seem to develop extraordinary bonds with their young. Bonds that drive them to incredible feats of innovation and protection when threatened. Are you suggesting we adopt human child-rearing practices? Wei chuckled. Great nebula, no. Could you imagine? Vraxian parents carrying pictures of their hatchlings and boring strangers with stories of first molts. As they laughed at the absurdity, a human woman approached them. Commander Wei, I'm Dr. Catherine Johnson, xenobiologist. I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity. You are welcome, Dr. Johnson, Wei replied formally. We look forward to a productive exchange of knowledge. Oh, and I brought something for you, she added, pulling out a small flat rectangle. It's chocolate, a traditional Earth gift when visiting someone's home. Wei accepted the offering cautiously. Thank you. Though I should warn you, many Earth substances are toxic to Vraxian physiology. Don't worry, I checked with your medical officer. This type is safe for you. She smiled warmly. Consider it a peace offering from Earth's parents to Vraxia. After she left, Kula examined the chocolate skeptically. A peace offering? After we tried to take their children, perhaps that's the most remarkable thing about these humans, Wei replied, carefully unwrapping the gift. Their capacity for forgiveness may be as strong as their protective instincts. As he cautiously tasted the chocolate, finding it surprisingly pleasant, Wei reflected on the past 6 months. What had begun as a simple extraction mission had evolved into first contact with a species unlike any the Vraxians had encountered. A species that had turned Earth into a nightmare for would-be child abductors, yet extended friendship once properly approached. Send a message to all ships in the fleet, Wei instructed Kula. New protocol for Earth interactions. No operations involving human offspring. Ever. Kula nodded in agreement. And perhaps add a warning. Earth parents are watching. Always. Wei laughed, but there was a hint of nervousness in it. Because deep down, he knew it wasn't a joke. It was possibly the most important interstellar safety advisory the Galactic Federation had ever issued.